Good morning, everybody! Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Locations in Real Life. Today we'll be covering the Johto region, which is based on the western half of Honshu Island in Japan. Just like in the games, it borders the real-world Kanto region. First, let's take a look at the Whirl Islands, which are based on Awaji Island and its neighbors, while the Whirlpools themselves are taken from a relatively close-by area called the Naruto Strait. And before you bombard me with questions regarding Naruto, my answer to everything is, I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to the islands. Awaji Island is a very important cultural and religious place in Japan, as it is tied to the Japanese creation myth, where the gods Izanami and Izanagi created the island with a spear. Pillar. Yeah, I think Game Freak messed up on the legends there. But even if the real-life legend alludes to Dialga and Palkia, it still at least gives a legendary Pokemon like Lugia a reason to make this place its home. Actually, if we go back to Spear Pillar a little bit more, if Johto and Sinnoh share the same real-world mythology, this actually gives a good reason for the Sinjo Ruins to exist. In case you don't know, the Sinjo Ruins are a secret place north of the Johto region that can only be reached in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. These ruins were built when the people of Johto and Sinnoh met and blended their cultures together, creating a place of worship for Arceus and the Unknown. Ecruteak City is based on Kyoto, the religious capital of Japan. The Burn Tower is based on the Tower of Kinkaku, while the Bell Tower, or Tin Tower, is based on Ginkaku. The funny thing about the Burn Tower is that the events that occurred to it in the game are exactly 100 years earlier than they occurred in real life. In the games, the tower was built 700 years ago, while Kinkaku was built 600 years ago. The story also says the tower caught fire 150 years ago in the games, but in real life the tower was burned by a monk only 50 years before Gold and Silver's release. Just like in the legend of the games, in real life the tower is covered in gold leaf. However, the real-world version of the Bell Tower was never colored silver. In addition, the two statues that represent Ho-Oh and Lugia are on the opposite towers. In real life, the golden rooster statue that Ho-Oh is based on is actually in the Burn Tower, instead of the Bell Tower, while the other bird-like statue that represents Lugia is on the Bell Tower. So, once again, Game Freak mixed up the legendaries. And I think that concludes this episode. Oh wait! Ha! You guys didn't think I'd forget about Mount Silver, right? Mount Fuji, the largest mountain in all of Japan, is the setting of Mount Silver. Many of you may be asking yourselves, that of all the historical and legendary locations in the real-world Honshu Island, why was Mount Silver chosen as the place for Red to spend all of his time training on? Well, the origin of Mount Fuji's name is unclear, but there are several things that people think it could mean. At first, natives believe that Fuji came from the Japanese word for immortal. Red may not be immortal, but his legacy is. Throughout all of Gold and Silver, you hear about his legendary accomplishments, which makes Red an everlasting hero across all of Kanto and Johto. But then, many people began to believe that Fuji meant without equal. Red is revered as the greatest Pokemon trainer of all time during the events of Gold and Silver, which means no one equals him in terms of strength. And finally, it has become a popular theory that Fuji came from the Ainu word for fire. Red's name reflects Pokemon Red version, whose mascot is Charizard, a fire type. Also, in Pokemon Origins, Red claims that his father named him Red so that he could be warm-hearted yet adventurous like a powerful fire. Mount Fuji is also a place that many Japanese people make pilgrimages to, as it has a large cultural role in Japan. Mount Fuji also represents inspiration for many native people, so it's possible that Red got bored with regular Pokemon battles after becoming the champion, so he went to train at Mount Silver to find his own inspiration. So with all of that wrapped together, it seems that Red actually has more connections to Mount Silver than we thought. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe for more or leave a like. I'll see you guys next time.